When Formula One was in Sakir for testing a month and a half ago, it was cold, a bit drizzly, and pretty much the polar opposite of the 30+ degree conditions expected for this weekend's Bahrain Grand Prix. And seeing as the first of 3 races this season have been more on the temperate to actually kind of chilly side of things, we might be in for a little bit of a shake-up. Sure. Kia ora, my name's Kimmy and I talk about F1 in the world's second worst accent. Welcome to my 3 burning questions for the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix. With Max Verstappen having one of the best weekends of his career last time out in Japan and Yuki Tsunoda getting his first taste of the Red Bull second seat struggles, I guess my first question is, will Yuki live up to the expectations so many of us have of him and put in a solid weekend? Tsunoda's record in Bahrain is pretty decent. He scored points in his first race back in 2021. His worst finish was 14th last year, where he had his Carmageddon moment after the checkered flag, if you remember that. And so far he's yet to record a retirement at any of his 4 Bahrain Grand Prix. And sure, previous records don't mean much, but it is a circuit he knows well, and it's a circuit he's had some pretty good results at. Yuki put in a commendable performance in FP1 in Japan with a time that was only a 10th off Max Verstappen's, but with both cars behind Norris, Leclerc, Russell and Hamilton and Max's exceptional pole lap, it's pretty likely engine modes played a part in Red Bull's perceived deficit at that point in the weekend. And after looking at the telemetry, I'm pretty convinced of that fact. Which begs the question, Yuki can clearly handle the Red Bull when the engine mode is turned down a bit, but can he get close enough to the limit when it's turned all the way up for qualifying? He's already admitted the car's quite a bit different on track compared to the simulator, which should surprise, well, absolutely nobody, but Bahrain has wide runoffs, no grass, and corners that are a bit more forgiving if you cock it up compared to Suzuka. So I think how Yuki performs in Bahrain will all come down to how much rope Red Bull's prepared to give him with the run plan, so we can find the edge of the limit without compromising engine life or the tyre selection for the rest of the weekend. My next question is, will Ferrari finally sort it out? On one side of this coin, we have the small consolation that in Japan both cars finished in the points and neither car was disqualified. On the other side, we have the woeful pace deficit. Leclerc finished 16 seconds off the lead, and Hamilton only had a 1/10 advantage over Isaac Hadjar on average in the Racing Bulls. Now, considering Hadjar was closer to Hamilton at the end of the race than Hamilton was to Antonelli, I think it's fair to say that if Suzuka had an extra DRS zone, Charles would have been left in George Russell's dust, and probably Kimi Antonelli's as well. Interestingly, Fred Vasseur made a point when speaking to the media to say that they're taking the same slow build approach as last year and that they were 6/10 off on average at the start of 2024. Okay, but Fred, the difference is that after 3 races in 2024, Ferrari had 2 third places, a second and a win already in the bag, and you are comparing apples with oranges, as last year the pace deficit was only really to the Red Bull. Specifically, Max in the Red Bull, and this year you're very much looking like the 4th fastest car. Ferrari's cock-up last year really happened in Barcelona, where they decided to go down a dead-end path and not during the off-season when they built a car capable of being on the podium 7 out of the first 8 races. You can't be complacent over winter and aim for a slow build when the field has closed up to the tightest we've ever seen over the course of the last 12 months. And it just kind of feels like Ferrari is being very cavalier to the point of arrogance, which might mean they have something magic up their sleeves like McLaren had last season and even the season before, or it might just mean that Fred Vasseur has finally become 100% indoctrinated into what, from the outside at least, looks like a very dysfunctional environment. That, and they no longer have a couple of long-term teammates who seem to do a pretty decent job of working together to push the development of the car in the right direction. Even if it took some kicking and screaming and a few races of misery for the technical team to admit defeat, they did always eventually get there, and those two seem to just kind of click. Are they on a road to nowhere again? Well, who knows, but I hope not, because I really want to see both Hamilton and Leclerc fighting at the top of the field rather than scratching around for whatever points are left once McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes take their piece. And finally, will Alex Albon give us another iconic irritated radio moment? I'm only half kidding here, because I have to say I am very much enjoying this more assertive approach that Albon is taking. And to be fair, that might just be because I don't have time to listen or read transcripts of each individual driver's team radio and the broadcast crew finally choosing to air something they maybe didn't in the past, but either way, I like it. Alex hasn't exactly felt like he's lacked confidence over the past couple of years, but this year he really seems to be carrying himself differently. He seems more determined and more prepared to ask more of the team, and his unwillingness to roll over and accept defeat in the face of questionable decisions gives me confidence that Williams will be slowly pushed in the right direction until they're sniffing around at the bottom of the top 5. It might take all year because lordy, we know that change in that organisation and realistically any F1 team takes time, and Carlos Sainz will need to make some kind of breakthrough within the next race or two, but I believe it'll happen. So that's my 3 burning questions for the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix. What are you excited about? What are you chewing your fingernails about? Are you apathetic at this point and just watching out of habit? Let me know in the comments, and please, if you enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe to my channel so you see when I post new videos. It costs you absolutely nothing and helps out a small YouTuber who's scratching around in a niche that's mostly dominated by dudes. So every little click helps a lot. The link to my Patreon is here at the bottom of the screen and in the description if you'd like to offer support in another way, and you can subscribe over there for free as well to get notified by email when I post new videos. Oh, I need to do my arbitrary make fun of me on Monday final results table, so hold the line please, caller. And please remember, these are entirely for funsies and not at all because I'm trying to place a curse on any particular driver, because we all know now that when I get on the hopium, it's often a career killer for whoever's involved. So we have 1 DNF this week, which will be Lawson, 19th Doohan, 18th Bortoleto, 17th Stroll, 16th Hulkenberg, 15th Gasly, 14th Alonso, 13th Behrman, 12th Sainz, 11th Ocon, 10th Albon, 9th Hadjar, 8th Tsunoda, 7th Hamilton, 6th Leclerc, 5th Antonelli, 4th Russell, in 3rd place Oscar Piastri, in 2nd Max Verstappen, and the winner of the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix, I am predicting Lando Norris. No, I'm not predicting a 4th winner in 4 races, but if some utter chaos wants to rain down and Alex Albon somehow goes and does a 2020 era Checo, then I'm not going to complain. And yes, I know that was the alternative track layout. Don't at me about it.